And we are back, this week looking for the best shots from the Spandex World Grand Prix. I've already selected the top 16 shots from this event, but we need to decide which of these is the best. And as usual, we're going to be doing that by attempting to recreate all of them as accurately as possible before playing them in the fewest possible attempts. So where better to start than with Ronnie O'Sullivan in the opening frame of his second round match against Cao Yupeng. Ronnie's a little way behind in this frame and needs to pot the pink and remove one of the reds from the side cushion in order to get position.
Take the red out. Oh, what a shot.
To recreate this shot, I'm going to need to strike the cue ball with topspin and right hand side to make it spin round the cushions towards the reds. My first attempt looks good, but unfortunately I think I've slipped through the gap here. Even though I'm on the red, I'm going to have a go at this again because I'm looking to get some form of cannon. I'm really not bothered what sort of cannon as long as I end up on the red. And I have, so that's pretty good. Yuan Sijun's having to pot his way out of trouble here after Mark Selby's left him no real shot. I think the awkward bridge position is going to make this one particularly difficult to make an accurate pot. And it turned out I was right, as digging down on the cue ball like this with my hand on the side cushion is making it very difficult to get anywhere near this pot. Now this is only a massive problem if you're trying to play a shot with power and screw back halfway down the table, but unfortunately that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm getting closer, but it could be a while before I finally find the pot. Or it could be this shot. That's actually not too bad considering how difficult it was. Gary Wilson plays the perfect cannon in his opening frame against Ronnie O'Sullivan, knocking the black into an unmissable position to take a one-frame lead. What I want to do is stun the cue ball towards the black, just hitting it cushion first with left hand side, which should push the black towards the pocket. However, I've got to get the black nearly full, but just cushion first. However, I've just caught the black first, causing the cue ball to spin up the table, but it's still in an easily pottable position. This crucial pot on the brown allows Ali Carter to make the clearance and win the match in the deciding frame. This was a great shot considering it's for the match because it's really difficult to both pot this ball and screw back for the blue at the same time. I was shocked it went in straight away, to be honest. Not only does Judd Trump get this good long pot now, he also manages to screw the cue ball back safe. I'm really going to have to be cueing well to get anywhere near far enough back as the bulk line here. Even though I just potted the last shot on my first attempt, it didn't feel like I cued it very well, and it looked like I got a lot of right hand side on the cue ball. I think that's a problem here, so I need to strike it a little bit cleaner, and I think I just about got it right and played the shot pretty well. Next we have a nice little shot into the green pocket from Ronnie O'Sullivan here, even though the frame's already been won at this stage. This is a really awkward shot down the cushion, especially as you have to play it fairly firm to screw the cue ball back for the black. But as it just about rattles in, we're on to the next shot. Judd Trump's trying to kill the match off with this double on the yellow against Cao Yupeng. And he does, initially, until he plays the following green, jumping it off the table and giving Cao a bit of a chance again. However, this made little difference as Judd went on to win the match pretty soon after this. But what it does mean is we've got a tricky double to try and play here. Definitely one that's more challenging than previous videos, and I'm also trying to control the cue ball here as Judd flicked off the blue for the green, but I just can't seem to get that to work, so I'm just going to try hitting it a little bit harder and see what happens. So I've got the yellow, but unfortunately I missed the cannon on the blue. And competing against that, we got this double from Ronnie in the final against Judd, which at least looks a little bit easier. And that's because I'm at the same end of the table as the ball I'm trying to double. However, I do need to hit it a little bit harder, and I am digging down at the cue ball a little bit, and that's probably making it difficult to play this shot as straight as I want to. So in terms of difficulty, this isn't too far off the Judd trump shot, although I probably did get the angle a little bit wrong until my last attempt. So which is the cheekiest double? Cue the music. So it's Judd and Ronnie again, but this week I'm only giving Judd 4 chilies and Ronnie 5, making him this week's winner. After an excellent performance, Judd's trying to take a 5-0 lead against Mark Selby when he makes this long-range cut into the corner pocket. I know with these types of shots you can never seem to hit them thin enough, so I'm trying to hit this one as thin as possible, and I've still hit it a little bit too thick, but that's given me quite a good guide for the next shot, and I've managed to get it, although the white's not great. This pressure green allowed Mark Selby to make the clearance and win what turned out to be a really close match against Sijun in the end. To get this shot, I'm going to need to screw the cue ball onto the cushion with left hand side to make the right angle of 2 cushions. However, on this first attempt, I've just got into the cue ball a little bit too much. I didn't think I was going to be able to do that. Not only do I need to correct this error, I also need to find a way of actually potting the green, which seems to be a lot harder than I first realised. But I have finally potted it and actually got back on the brown a little bit better than Mark Selby. Cao Yupeng's having to play the swerve now in order to make contact with this long distance red. But not only does he manage to hit it, he also manages to pot it at the same time. However, it doesn't help him too much in the end, as he already needs snookers in the frame. Watching this one all the way down, I genuinely thought I got it on my first attempt, so hopefully this isn't going to be as difficult as I first feared. You need to strike down on the cue ball with left hand side, and I just can't seem to get it at the right angle. What I think might be happening with this shot is I'm actually playing it too slowly. As you play the shot slower and slower, you give the cue ball more time to turn, and what I need to do is strike it a bit harder like this, and I get the shot and get the cue ball back into the same position. You simply can't play snooker much better than Ronnie managed against Ding in this match, and this pink at the end of it showed exactly how well he was playing. There's a couple of things making this shot particularly difficult. The first of these is the pink isn't right up against the cushion, it's just a little way away, and that's probably why I keep cutting the pink just off the cushion on most of these shots. The second is that you've got to play it as a drag shot because the natural angle takes the cue ball directly into the black. This is a really tough way of playing the shot, and I just can't seem to get it right. It's gone in, but really that was more luck than judgment there. Ding was cueing really well in this tournament and was able to overcome Zhang Anda with shots like this one. Obviously I'm not going to quite be able to screw back far enough on this shot with a regular cue ball. However, I think the hardest part of this shot for me is going to be getting close to the pot. I flick the blue on the way back, but I'm taking it, and I think 2 attempts here is pretty good. By consistently potting shots like this, you can see how Shaun Murphy was able to whitewash John Higgins. To be truthful, I just added this one to get to an even number of shots, and I actually think it's a little bit more straightforward than anything else we saw from this tournament. So I'm expecting to get the pot fairly quickly, but it may be a slightly awkward angle and I do have to cue it quite well, which I seem to be failing to do here. So this one's definitely a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be, but I think I should have got it a bit quicker really.
We've got yet another Ronnie O'Sullivan shot coming up next after we find Jeff, who's in Guangzhou, China, which is there.
Now to another Ronnie O'Sullivan shot that I know I'm going to struggle with a little bit. It looks fairly straightforward to get the cannon on the pink, but because you're playing the cue ball towards the cushion with backspin, it actually requires very little side. So I'm only striking the cue ball a little way to the left hand side, but even that seems to be too much, as the backspin's just pulling the cue ball towards the cushion. So to deal with this, I'm trying to back off the spin as much as possible and get the white as close as I can to the black. And it looks like I've finally got it right, but annoyingly I haven't quite pushed the pink past the pocket, so I'm trying again a little bit harder, and this time I've pushed the pink too far. You would think now I've played it twice in a row fairly accurately I'd be able to do it again, but unfortunately not. So even though this does look fairly simple, I'm struggling with this one about as much as any of the shots I've previously played in this video. I've finally got the cannon again, so hopefully this time it'll stop, and it has.
Cao Yupeng makes this frame-winning pot against Judd on a respotted black.
This may not have helped him out in the match too much, but he had made it all the way through to the semi-finals, and considering that, it was an impressive pot under pressure. My first attempt wasn't so accurate, so let's see if I can do any better with my second. And that's pretty good.
It was difficult to choose a winner this week because there were a lot of good shots, so I've probably got it wrong, but here's the results anyway. Third place goes to Gary Wilson. This was an excellent cannon that won him a frame. Second place goes to Ronnie shot down the cushion. The fact that it wasn't even touching the cushion and he dragged it made it even better. But first place I'm giving to Ding, as the match was still live at this stage and this was probably the best cute shot of the week.
So some pretty decent shots this week, and we got the German Masters video coming up soon. But if you can't wait for that, then have a look at these two videos of the best shots from previous tournaments. And remember, don't just watch, play, and make the commitment to becoming a better player by subscribing to the channel and visit the website. See you later!